Hi, chosen ones. How we doing? Thanks for tuning in to my channel, Kimberly Ponce. This is for the chosen ones. Say it with me. This is gonna be a pretty short video tonight. It's like coming up on 1 a.m. I just got in, basically. Took a quick shower, and I'm gonna pass out and wake up mad early. So I was kind of thinking, I was like, what should I talk on tonight, God? And then I was just thinking about how I was having a conversation with a friend tonight over dinner about like how real envy can be and how strong of an emotion it is. And over there. And let's just say this Monday night I was honestly recording a song, and it was my friend's idea to do so. He's not really my friend, I guess it turns out. I don't know. You know how it gets weird like that. So in the middle of the song I was recording, I looked back and he just looked so upset. Just like, I wouldn't even want to touch his energy the way that I was, like, seeing it on his face, with, like, a 10-foot pole. Like, I would see that and be like, okay, that's, there's something going on there. Like, that's something I do not trust. But, like, bro, there's got to be something seriously wrong. Like, if somebody's in the middle of, like, creating content and you're just, like, in the corner of the room, like, stewing, like if I were to, like, go and, like, with a friend and, like, help them record, like, or, like, set up, like, he's the one who called this guy and, like, set it up, like, last minute. Like, I thought we were just gonna get dinner and, like, catch up, but then I was writing, and then he showed up like an hour and a half late to dinner. And he's like, "What's you writing?" I was like, "Oh, just a song I'm working on." He's like, "Oh yeah," and then he, like, even asked, like, he's like, "Do you mind, like, can I read it or whatever?" And then, like, throughout the night too, he's like, let's hear it. And then I would just, like, kind of start to, like, spit and stuff and sing my verses or whatever. So I kind of, like, noticed a little bit of, like, him, like, putting me to the test, like, on the spot over and over, just to see if I could, like, rap out of nowhere with, like, no music. I'm like, yeah, that's something I can do. Like, I don't know why you gotta test me on that. I don't know, it was weird. And then, like, he was definitely, like, really into, I don't think he asked for permission to see what I wrote. I think he just, like, took it and, like, started reading what I wrote, and I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that always rubs me the wrong way when people are, like, way too hungry for my content and art like that. Rubs me the wrong way for sure. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, like, something, and you should make it, like, a little bit darker." And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, people always have, like, suggestions or whatever. Like, that's fine. But it's like they want to, like, make your song their song. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, go make your own song. Don't tell me how to make my song. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he was like, or, like, are you interested in punk, or, like, you want to make it, like, punky? And then I was like, I mean, I'm open, like, but, like, I already had, like, a beat, and I already had, like, my verses, and, like, I always go off script. It's just my performance style. I can't, unless it's acting for a film, I'll stick to the script. But for comedy and for music, I go up with notes in mi cabeza and, like, go off of that and, like, get creative with that. But I really, because that to me is entertainment. Like, you're coming up with something in the moment based off of what the crowd says, or you're using something in the room, or you're using something in the now to make a verse for a song and it matches the beat, things like that. So I was okay with that or whatever, but I'm just kind of sharing this so that if anyone else has, like, talent out there, be careful of who you share it with, because, like, you will get attacked if you have talent in some way or another. you will receive that energy of like envy. And they'll also try and project their insecurities onto you. You know, be careful who you share your talent with, because not everyone has a talent that they hone. I think that everybody could have the ability to have a talent that's like exceeding everyone else, but the difference between people that really like make it somewhere, they didn't even know like what they were doing. They just kept doing it, and like that was like their talent, and they loved it. It was their passion, and they kept honing their success and honing their craft work over and over and over until it's like, yes, that's clear, that's their hard work and that's their talent. So sometimes if you like show that to somebody who's just kind of like, I hate to say like run of the mill, or they just like haven't stepped into that courage of like, you know what, maybe I can come up with something different. You know what, maybe I can be the one to break the mold. And then they meet you and you be breaking the mold. If you're watching this, it's no coincidence. You're likely, you know, someone who's motivated to an extent to become your best version of yourself, and understand the hate that a chosen one goes through. People on this channel are pretty solid about like expressing their opinions and stuff too. So that's all like a really good sign of someone who's like a leader and like, you know, like assertive and stuff, and like sure, like speaks their mind. Like if you're doing that and you're logging in, like there's no coincidence if you're watching this video, like confirmation for you tonight that you have a talent, you're able to hone it. What is it that you want to choose to do in this life? Like, I'm just saying, like, go for it, find that passion, find that talent of yours, hone it, make it an art craft, but be careful on who you share it with, because there will be a whiplash of energy that you feel back when they're not accepting your elevated state, your enlightened state. Like, that's a momentum that they couldn't even dream of. And then when you just, like, show it in front of them, like, it's gonna be uncomfortable because it's an asymmetrical impact in the relationship, even if it's just friends and stuff, or like, or even like, and it can even get even more like, you know, kind of volatile if it's like a boyfriend and girlfriend, and like one's really chasing the dreams, the other one's like really just stagnant and static. Yeah, that can cause a lot of problems. So just be careful on who you share your talent with. Be careful on who you tell your dreams to. And be careful what you wish for, because if you're watching this channel, you're likely able to manifest exactly what you want when you want, and it's not really a tall order for you. You're able to see, like, you know what, yeah, that's the path, and you know what, that's something I want, and I'm gonna take all the right steps and tasks and execute them until I achieve that goal and that dream. So I feel like it looks like it's like shiny underneath my eye because it's just lighting. I took like a shower, but you know. And so then I kind of found this verse in Philippians that was interesting, and I feel like it kind of had to do with this subject. So let's get into that. This is Philippians 2:20. For I have no one else of a disposition like his, who will genuinely care for the things pertaining to you. For all the others are seeking their own interest, but not those of Christ Jesus. So that's kind of to say, I pray and encourage that the talent and goals you set out to seek for yourself in your life are based around God. There's a lot of interests that we can have in life. Like, I have literally so many interests. But I think, like, my love and passion for God is the one thing that's made everything else come to fruition. Because without God, you know, it's a dark room. It's a dark life. He brings enlightenment. He brings love. He brings perseverance. He brings strength. With God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26, and I know that because that's my Bible notebook. It has a quote on the front of it. This is like where I write my ideas and stuff and comedy. And yeah, I went out to dinner with a friend tonight. That was fun. And he was like, so yeah, you're going to take a break from comedy for a little bit? He's like, man, I'm so bummed I missed your show. And I was like, oh no, don't worry about it. I was like, yeah, it does feel really weird to not be writing comedy on a weekly and performing. And I mean, I was really grinding that for months. That was the dream. And I feel like I don't want to say I could like die happy from all the shows that I did and stuff, and especially the one on Broadway, but like I kind of feel very accomplished. And you know, that's also a thing to watch out for too, is like when you're popping off, when you're doing good, people are going to come back and try and get back with you, or get back into your circle and like want to get your energy and stuff. So be aware that it's a little bit of a risk to have a talent, to know you have a talent, to hone your talent, and to share your talent. Because I've even heard of some people say that they can feel like this energy through social media, where they like post like some of their best stuff, best content, and then they feel like the whiplash of like people like not really giving them everything that they deserve in that, from that post. It's like kind of like they're kind of being like passive aggressive, like, oh, I'm not gonna like let them really know, like I think that's amazing or something, like even if it is amazing and like worthy and due and credit, worthy of credit and liking and an emoji fire, like a fire emoji, like it's worthy of all those things, but people don't want to give you that. So I've heard of some people even being able to feel that through social media when they post. So imagine what it's like in a room, somebody 3D in real life, flesh and flesh, like they will give you that energy of like, it has nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything wrong. It's like how they just haven't chosen. They haven't had the courage yet to take the path that you have. And so they want to punish you for your bravery because you're painfully a reflection of what they haven't brought themselves to be yet. That's why they project onto you. It's just, you know, it's crab in a bucket. I know we talk about it all the time. I know you hear about it all the time, but it's really true. Kind of the modern world today. So let's see what else we got in this Philippians. I love Philippians. I love Philippians. Let's see. 2:12. Philippians 2:12. Consequently, my beloved ones, in the way that you have always obeyed, not during my presence only, but now much more readily during my absence, keep working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. For God is the one that, for the sake of good pleasure, is acting with you in order for you both to will and act. For God is the one that, for the sake of his good pleasure, is acting with you in order for you both to will and to act. So right there, we're seeing that if you come to God and be like, okay, God, like, this is my talent, this is my passion, will you come into my heart, will you come into my life and ordain this passion, this soul purpose and mission for me? And if you honor God and say like this, I want to live a life that's in your will, not like an individual will, but God's will, on God's let this will be done on earth as it is in heaven, like God's will. I think it darn near took me, my entire adult life to get that into my thick skull of like, it's about God's will, not what I want. And actually, listening to his voice is getting so much easier and so much more easier, because becoming obedient is actually a really good feeling. I didn't realize that the spirit of rebellion was so distracting and disruptive to my path with God. I thought that rebellion was something that made me edgy, unique, aloof in a way that kept me safe, if that makes sense. I thought that there were benefits to rebellion, and, in some senses, standing up for yourself. That's kind of a form of rebellion, like if everyone's kind of listening to like a boss man and he's talking bad, and making you feel bad, but you stand up for yourself. Like, that's kind of a rebellion that I think is more welcomed than like the rebellion against God when he's telling you to do something, right? So discernment there. But I really like this one. Let's read it again. This is Philippians 2:12. Consequently, my beloved ones, in the way that you have always obeyed, not during my presence only, but now much more readily during my absence. Keep working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Because remember, the root of wisdom is fear of God. For God is the one that for the sake of his good pleasure is acting with you. He's helping you. He's acting with you. He's giving you those words. He's giving you those thoughts. He's giving you these messages, these signs. He's acting with you. He wants to work with you. God loves you. He has a plan for you. For the sake of his good pleasure is acting with you in order for you both to will and to act. Keep doing all things free from murmurings and arguments, that you may come to a blameless and innocent children of God without a blemish in among a crooked and twisted generation. See, there's the crabs in a bucket right there. That you may come to be a blameless and innocent children of God without a blemish in among a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you are shining as illuminators in the world, keeping a tight grip on the word of life. Oof, this is so good. Thank you, Jesus. Love it. That I may have cause for exultation in Christ's day, that I did not run in vain or work hard in vain. Right. Yeah, so any work that we do in God is not going to be hard work in vain. Like, it's going to be hard work for God that's glorifying him. Solid stuff, so be careful who you share your dreams with, your talents with. It was a very uncomfortable car ride to the subway after I was done recording that song, and he like snapped at me too, and it was like really like whoa. And I was like, that had to do something with not me but him, and it was like I'd never seen like that side of him before, and I was like, that had to have been some like anger and resentment from like just now, because we were even in the recording room for a little bit, and almost 1 a.m. I'm gonna get some sleep soon. And like he was like, we were like just about to record another song, because I was telling the guy who owned the studio, like, that I also enjoy doing jazzy, because we like started getting on the discussion of like jazzy vocals and stuff. And like right before we were like about to like record like another, like I sent him the beat. I was like, okay, this is the beat. And I sent that to him, and then all of a sudden it was like time to go. And I was like, no, you just don't want to like stick around to see me like do more talent. Like it would just upset you for the rest of your life. Like, you're already pretty upset seeing this talent. And what's funny too is like when I first started getting into music, he used to like criticize. Everyone laughed at me and criticized. I mean, maybe not everyone, but pretty much. And they all said like, oh, you should name this song Yeah, because of how much I say yeah, and like make sure you're work a little bit harder on your flow, and then like it was always critiques until I worked hard enough until the point where I would just when you get to a certain point, man, they can't say nothing. And that was the look on his face. He's like, oh, I have no critiques for her this time. A couple months, what was that, like 5 months later, after first moving to New York, like when I first moved here, I sent him a couple of songs and stuff, and he's like, oh, like, this and this and this, and the critiques and critiques and critiques. And then, like, yeah, like 5 or 6 months later, like, we're sitting down in a studio, and then I'm unleashing my creativity. I got a spot. I got this, like, dope ass microphone, and, like, you know, like the little like, screen that's like in a circle. It was like a studio, dude, and like I could hear myself in the headphones, and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to get back in the studio. And then I just like kind of like took a second and looked back for camaraderie, because I thought that he had my back, and like he's the one who like set up the whole thing. So I was like stoked in the middle of it, and like I was like recording stuff, that I like looked back, and it was literally like this, like his hands like on his knees like this, and just like it just upset, just so upset, and just like I was like, damn, I just crack a smile for like someone in this room right now. Like the energy was so intense, and I was like, it's actually kind of scary to have a talent, because people will turn on you when they see that you got it, you got the sauce, you got the juice, you got the fuel, you're your own like Mustang, man. Like, and people like work their whole lives to try and find that secret code that chosen ones just seem to crack early on in life, or eventually crack before others figure it out for themselves. And that's what being chosen is about. Like, you choose yourself, but you're also kind of like giving your life to God in a way, and saying like, okay, like let me exalt you, let me glorify you through these blessings and skills and talents that you gifted me with. And for me, I believe that God gifted me with, and I say this humbly and with much gratitude, being a light worker and healer and a wordsmith and people skills. So that comes great with what I've done in the past, which was reporting and journalism and doing interviews with public officials, or holding interviews with others, being a journalist and covering a protest, and being able to talk with people in high emotions, and people skills. I think that God gave me that for sure. And so now it's evolved into wordsmith, that turned into not just being on the paper, but being spoken word, and then spoken word turned into with courage that God definitely like supplemented me with. And like when I asked, I was like, okay, like this is, I think originally I was pretty terrified to do comedy, and I actually found out that a lot of people, like, their number one fear is public speaking. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then that turned into like, wow, I really feel like I'm helping people, like, and so finding your life path is in purpose is so beautiful, because I always just thought I was going to be like a writer. I never know that I was going to like perform, but it makes so much sense now, because I always had that personality anyway and charisma. So, God gives you talents, skills, and gifts. Use them wisely and be careful who you share them with. You absolutely have the power to live the life of your dreams. Ask God to come in and show you what steps you need to take, what direction you need to go to make that happen. And it's such a fulfilling feeling. It's so accomplished. It's such a accomplished feeling to achieve literally what you always see in your head, like the dreams, like a dream come true. Not everyone gets to that point, man. Everyone dreams, but not everyone achieves. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone has the courage to try. So even if you're trying and you're failing, I say good job. I say good job to you. I say, heck yeah, you have courage. Keep going. Keep at it. You're going to find your niche. You're going to find your stroke. Do not give up. Confirmation that this is, your time to shine. I'm like choking on my own spit today. I was talking on the phone with my sister today, and I was like choking on my spit. I was like, what is happening? I think it happens when I get like really like excited, but is there any water? Okay, I guess not. I'll be okay. Chosen ones, I'm gonna pass out. It's like 1 a.m. I hope this message was enlightening or helpful or healing or clarifying in some way. You know what I mean? Please like if you haven't done so already. And if you feel called, please leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I love you all so much. You know what comes next. Stay safe. Actually, quick note, I'm gonna share the song that I recorded somehow on YouTube in the next 30 days. I'm gonna figure it out. It's like a local file on Spotify, and the only way I figured out how to share it is by like adding it to a playlist. But I'm gonna see if I can get it up on YouTube, that way you guys can hear the song that I recorded, because it's about becoming the best version of yourself in summer 2023, and it's the summertime, so why not release it during this wonderful imminent time of heat and possibility and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful times of optimism. So yes, you know what comes next. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay chosen. Peace.